Well, that was a quick response. I was on less than a minute. That's awesome. How am I coming in? How's my voice coming in? Let me know. I always, I always forget to do this a lot of times, in case the chat doesn't show. But I often forget to bring up comments. Let me let me know how my audio is. Give me a sign. Yeah, I appreciate 8 thumbs up, but I don't know if that was a mutual greeting or if it's telling me my audio is. Oh, here we go. Guys, all right. Well, see, I have it at the same audio that I had it when I was on your show, and you said it was fine. So let me do this, because I don't want to move that close. It should be picking me up better. Let me try. Matter of fact, first before I do anything, in the music. All right, here we go. And I thought I had it turned up pretty loud. Oh, wait a minute. I guess I could put some more on it. How about now? Is it better now? Or should I put more? Let me know. Because once again, the main portion of the mic that picks up the sound is facing me. Well, is it better or good enough? I need to know if it's good enough. Is it good enough? Or should it be louder? Much better? But should it be louder or is it fine? And let's see here. So okay, then that's fine. All right, so my plan of course is to do my haul. You've already seen it, Simon. So once again, this may not be anything you care to watch because I'm just going to go through my haul again, and then I'm just going to chill here and sleeve up some more of my albums. And my goal is to eventually have all my albums, with their anti stats and their clean sleeves. Um, yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff that's already with sleeves, but they're so old and they look kind of grimy. So I'm refitting those, um, and then I'm trying to recategorize some stuff because I'd like to have most of the LPs done before and if when I eventually move out of here. I would like to have all of the existing LPs that I have. Um, I'd like to have them all nicely bagged if I can. Another thing I need to do is I need to take. I still got relayer in its plastic. I haven't played it yet, so I'm thinking I need the Rhino High. You know, um, oh no, I'm gonna bag some of my 12 inch. That's what I was gonna do. about 12-inch on your. I'll hang in the chat. Will you do your thing? Okay, cool. No problem. Um, yeah, we were talking on your stream on Sunday. And we were talking about 12-inch, vinyl and the whole thing about if you find New Order, that how hot that is. So I do have some 12-inch. I think I think I got some already put away, but I got some out here that could really use some bagging. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be like I'm going to surface clean these, and then as I decide to go back and listen to them, I will give them a deeper clean. But these are going to get a really good surface cleaning. But I just at least want to go in them, and if I'm going to rebag them and everything, I want them to get a little shower before they jump into their new clothes. So let me see here. So while what I'm going to do here, Simon, is I'm going to throw on just coat the background with the music because I'm going to be leaving the camera and coming back to the camera. So I didn't want total silence. Let me see what I have on before. There we go. Wait a minute. Come on. Come on, it's not playing. That's weird. Huh. Oh, there we go. And I'll just have it. I'll turn up just a bit more. That shouldn't be loud, right? Okay, cool. All right, let me go grab. Oh, hold on a second. I gotta. Let me grab some of these 12-inch over here. I rotate out. Oh, by the way, the Sunday I went over here to get that Beach Boys, that double album that I was telling you guys about, and I realized maybe not the last time, but the time before that, I rotate my albums around because I can't have them all out at the same time. So I have I've got some bay windows, front windows, and below it is it goes the length of the wall, the window base, and I have a cabinet, and under there is a whole row more of albums. I think I got, I don't know, maybe a couple of hundred still tucked away. Maybe it's more than that. But anyway, what I do is I kind of rotate my stock around, so I'll have certain, new stuff to look at. Sometimes I'll rotate like maybe once every 6 months. Sometimes it's once a year. Depending on what it is. But anyway, Beach Boys is put away. But I definitely ended with putting some of my 12-inch away because I got at least to have a. I didn't know I had this many 12 inches out. This is just some of them, you know. Um, Boy, that's a lot just alone. Let's see here. So, I put this music on loop and it always only plays once. I can never figure that out. It says loop, and every time I try and let me go back to it again. I don't understand it. It never stays on loop. Let's go. All right, this time I'm not gonna. I thought you're supposed to click on it now. Well, sometimes when you click on it, okay, let me see. I'm gonna try it this way. See if that happens. All right. What do we got here? I just completed the Beach Boys studio collection. Going to do video soon. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, the one I showed you, and then I don't, I don't know any titles of the beach. I know I got like 4, 5, maybe 7, something like that. But I mean, I got all of the essentials, all of the basic ones. Although I don't, I believe I've got Pet Sounds on CD, but I don't have Pet Sounds on vinyl. That's one I really need to look at. Hold on, see what am I doing? Yep, that's better. I got to keep putting the comments up on the screen. I always forget. But yeah. So what are we going to start with? Well, we'll start with the halls, and then even so I can go to a little bit more in depth because I did have a chance to listen to some things, and so I'm going to start off with what I started off with Sunday, and I mean, man, so these were two different halls. So over here. Over the weekend. Yeah, and so I brought up my other Tomita. Man, I am so fired up. So yeah, so this is the planet. Well, wait a minute. Actually, I already have this. This is one of the ones I already had, but I might as well show it off. I need to get that sticker off. There's no need for it now. But anyway, I once again, Tomita just has some of the greatest album art around. He's amazing. So what he does here is he does host the composer. He does the planets. Everybody, all a lot of the great composers have done host the planets, and so he does that here. Um, Dude, absolutely. I appreciate that. Yes, Simon. I will I will definitely accept. Yeah, so Tomita, man, I just really dig everything he does. Everything he does. He's one of those artists that just, I mean, he does no wrong. Um, he died in 2016, so it hasn't been that long ago. And when he died, he was still, I believe, 84. So he lived a very long and fruitful life. Yeah, 2016, I believe he was 82. And then this is pictures at an exhibition. Once again, this album covers are so fantastic. Now, because I have the sleeve on it, one of the things that these sleeves does, it does make even your crappy covers look good. Because if I took this out of the out of here, it doesn't look very good. So I'm hoping um, when I go back to that show, collectible show, um, I find this would be great. Oh, and yeah. So, oh, by the way, the other thing about pictures at an exhibition, this is the symphony or suite that also Keith Emerson, Lake and Palmer did as well. Yeah, Luzagorsky. That's the name of the composer. Luzagorsky. So many people have done renditions. And then what do we got here as far as what I got? The more recent. Where are you? Oh, and then there's a couple other things I want to talk about that I didn't get a chance to talk about. Well, since I didn't get a chance, I didn't remember to bring up. Uh, where is? Oops, sorry about that. Um, oh my goodness, he's a great art. And so the Bermuda Triangle. Once again, the album art is absolutely fantastic. And this album is so wow, it's so beyond some of the other like some of the other things are reworks of different orchestrations and stuff. Now this one, you know, if you're not familiar, the Bermuda Triangle is this bizarre kind of vortex in the ocean that people say that if you fly over it or if your ship sails over the Bermuda Triangle, people have disappeared. There have been ships that have disappeared and nobody can find them, or planes and things. So anyway, that's why you see ships and planes on the album cover. They're known to disappear in the Bermuda Triangle, you know, so which is really cool. But now on the album though, he goes into exploring different textures and samples. Well, not so much samples, but um, he takes analog and manipulates it. He can sound just about like anything. So things that sound like planes or water, trumpets, horns, the things that sound like a full orchestration. He had to build all of those things up from just these turning these small knobs and creating a whole universe. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. I think I've showed this. I mean, he's a incredibly inventive electronic composer. And then this one, and this is not a reissue. This is the original. I got it colored vinyl, and that is really magnificent. Magnificent. The thing that is so cool about this album, he talks about it. Okay, yeah. So the Luke did word. Is my voice is the music fine where it is? Can you still get a can I keep the music on or do I need to turn it? Let me know. So the cool thing about this particular release, let me read this for you because I didn't realize it. It totally slipped my mind. All right, great, great, great. See, I get real paranoid about this, Simon, because sometimes the perception of what goes out is different, and being a DJ, also a lot of times I'm changing my settings around. Sometimes when I go to YouTube to stream, I'll forget to take off, studio audio, whatever. I just got to remember that everything should work properly, because there's certain things you're gonna have issues with. But anyway, um, so in the liner notes, he writes this: each side of this record contains coded data in the form of certain sound effects. The message can be recovered if the electrical signal from the record is interfaced with an input of a microcomputer programmed to the Treadle system. I mean, talk about being very intimate and creative. What year was this one? I think this is seven. Yeah, this is 1979. And the Beatles didn't even do this. Um, so when I was listening to uh, side two, I had totally forgot about them talking about the coded message. I was going to, side two ends, and just before I pick up the needle, I hear, I'm like, what's this going on? So after the song ends, the encoded message, if you don't lift the needle too soon, that's where the encoded message is. And I think what I might be able to do is I might be able to run that encoded message through an interface that I have with my music in my music studio. I have processing here and all kinds of stuff. I might be able to hear what this encoded message says. Because now it's kind of scrambled. You won't be able to legibly hear it. I think that was just a fantastic idea, just a great idea. Because what it does is it takes the album itself and extends it out beyond just the platter, because the platter is talking about strange phenomena, strange messages, and things like that, and all of this in the Bermuda Triangle. So using that encoded reference to be something physical that you can actually go and find from here, that's brilliant. That's great marketing. But this is back in the day when artists did what they call concept albums. Concept albums were those albums that it wasn't just a single. The whole album was meant to play from the first side, from the beginning of the first side to the back of the second side, or the beginning of the first side and the fourth side of the double album, because it was a story that was meant to be heard from the beginning to the end. Fantastic. Then another one. Just oh my goodness, just love this part. This is Cosmos. Once again, just the album art is like, if you're in a record shop and you saw this, you can't tell me you wouldn't be curious. And the music is exactly what the album entails. Like, this is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This is between, you know different planes of existence, of time, and that's so. But on here, man, the very first track, he does a super cool electronic version of John Williams' Star Wars. See, this album came out, if I'm yeah, this this album came out 2 years after Star Wars, the first Star Wars hit the screen. So he did his own, but it is so freaking cool. And then the rest of the stuff. This man, it sounds so good. Sounds so good. So You know, if you're into electronic music, it's just a must have. There's nothing more to be said about it, you know. And then I'll close out Tamita with, I found this one. This is actually a compilation off of most of the albums I already have, except there's a he he did albums all the way up till almost death, but I know he released something in 2009. In the 70s, he was releasing an album a year. Um, and so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all. He did 75, 6, 7, 8, 9. I want all of those. I want all of those that he did in consecutive. There's a couple of songs on here from albums I don't have, but he's got the Star Wars main theme on his compilation, like the one I just showed you. Star Wars is on there. He does Claire de Lune, Mars, Bringer of War. That's on the Host. That's the one I have here. Space Fantasy. That's on Cosmos. The one I just showed you. And then he's Infernal Dance of King Castiai. That's on Firebird. I really need to get that one. And then Great excuse me, Great Gate of Kiev or Kiev. That's on pictures at an exhibition which I have here. So this is really a great compilation. And when I Google him his discography, this does not appear. Now it's on Discogs, but it's not within his discography. So what I'm guessing is that this was going to be released, but they decided not to. Now he has it. He's got at least one greatest hits, if you want to call it, because he's not really that kind of artist. But he's got one album, a compilation of his best stuff. I don't want to call it hits because they're not hits. These are pieces of works of art. Well, anyway, I'm losing track of what I'm saying. But this is a promo, which I love even more because pardon me, it says sampler. It's a white label, and it's got the not for sale on it. You can see that down at the off to the side, the big old ones off to the side. And yeah, I couldn't be more jazzed up to. I couldn't be more jazzed up tonight. And all of these are in pristine condition. Now, one of them, unfortunately, is crazy. The whole album is seamless until it gets to the last second of side 2. The song skips within the fade out. So what I'm going to do, I did some surface cleaning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a deep cleaning on that. I'm hoping it's not a defect. I'm hoping it's just like something that just got really lodged down in there. But for the most part, a tick or a pop maybe or two on any of these is because he does a lot of very quiet stuff, and these albums are incredibly quiet. So yeah, if you're gonna find ambient, you want to be in the condition that I got these in. Okay, and so. I was bagging something. I bagged this because I'm starting to categorize all my electronic stuff, but particularly I want to put a nice section of most of my electronic like old pioneer 60s, 70s electronic music. So this one is one of the ones I have. I got several by. This is when he was Walter Carlos. This is before he had his sex change, because he went from Walter Carlos to Wendy. So this is a first. I believe this is a first edition. This is the original press, and this was switched. I've got one to put away. This is switched on Bach too. So he took Bach and did different renditions of Bach, and he as well, just like Anita, he plays the mode. He's or I should say she now. It is Wendy. Or he at the time played the same types of gear that Tomita played. You know, he played this System 55 and all of that same kind of stuff. Um, yeah, but all of electronic music has a lot of uh, what should I say? What's the word I want to use? They owe Wendy Carlos a lot because she was there in the ground floor of when the mode was being created by Bob Moog. Bob Moog literally invited Wendy to come to his his work, his place where he was building, to ask questions and to get some ideas and recommendations and stuff, or maybe play some sounds to her. But anyway, she was very principal in helping Moog create the Moog synthesizer. A fun little fact that maybe a lot of folks don't know. All right, then we go to we got Synergy. I spoke about this. This is by Larry Fast. Larry Fast is a um, I get he's very deeply known to electronic musicians in the world, in the industry, to the I don't know, to the mainstream. They wouldn't know who this guy is, but man, he was one of the innovators, and this is considered a groundbreaking album. Synergy is one of the earliest forms of real, true electronic music being brought to the forefront. Like, hey, look at this. This is great stuff. And Larry Fast was one of the principal guys who were like woke people up to the sound, because this is 75. So you got to realize in 1975, classic rock was as big as it could be. So he's doing stuff way outside of that, not so much outside of music itself, because there was progressive rock that was doing this kind of music, only they were also putting in guitars and stuff. This is all like mostly all uh, uh, synthesizer or modulation created. But is it on here? Which one was it? Yes. Now his lineup on this album, if you and I knew it when I read this lineup, I said, now I know I'm hearing what I'm hearing. So in the lineup, and some of these folks you may not recognize, but there's going to be two people I'm going to read. Jeffrey Howlett of the House of Music, okay? Then there was Craig Leon, Bob Walters, Rick Wakeman, John Anderson, and then it says everyone at JEM. So when you listen to this album, you're going to hear John Anderson doesn't sing, but you know for a fact he brought them over here to help them with arrangement and orchestration, because there are portions where of the music where you go, Rick Wakeman's fingerprints are all over it, and you go, these passages, these motions, these movements, that's John Anderson. So you can really hear the strong influence and presence. So is Prague? This is Prague electronic bass, but this is great prog. This is absolutely fantastic. Synergy by Larry Fast. And that brings to an end from the hall, at least as far as the. Oh no, I had one other thing outside of the more mainstream things. But of course, I when I saw it, I had to get this again. Junk culture, in my opinion, OMD is up there with the greatest as far as electronic music. They're in my top five, and I'm not kidding. I've got these guys with Kraftwerk, Front 242, uh, Depeche Mode. You name any of these folks in electronic music, and nobody is better than OMD. Nobody. Now, this album had its issues. The reason why I got this is because the one I have is fairly beat up, and my goodness, this is not even a reissue. This is a 1984, and this album cover is damn near mint. So I was like, no, I'm refreshing my stuff anyway. I'm getting it. So, but yeah, this, but people talk about how this album wasn't like one of their better ones, but it still had hits on them. And Tesla Girls is just a great song. Locomotion, great song. Talking Loud and Clear, I love that too. Yeah, so great. Can't go wrong with 4D ever. And then I talked about this Sunday too. Probably, I mean, listen, thick as a brick. I don't know how you get. I don't know how you get even. You can't get any closer to a pure masterpiece than thick as a brick. Um, so don't get me wrong. And what the you've got I've got a lot of toe. I've got thick as a brick. As a matter of fact, I got thick as a brick on the original cassette that it came out at. Uh, but I've got Minstrel in the Gallery, War Wars, what's it, Wars? Songs from the Woods. Uh, but anyway, for whatever reason, this is my favorite. This is my favorite Toe album, Heavy Horses. Um, I mean, and he still had the main core band still for this album. Martin Barr is on here, John Evans. Um, yeah, Barrymore Barlow is on here, David Palmer. I mean, oh, and John Glasgow. This is the quintessential Toe lineup. And this album, I just think it's fantastic. They don't talk about Heavy Horses nearly as much as his more. I don't want to call him commercial, but he did have a lot of commercial success. Not all of his albums are commercial, but yeah, this is my big. And then I showed this, and this is it. This is an area of music that I'm telling you, I very rarely find people even venture into this area of music. Although there are people in the vinyl community that bring up certain artists, and I go, I can't believe you even know who that person is. And it always fills me with glee because I feel special sometimes when I find these artists that are way, way outside of the norm but their music is like, wow, I feel like you're talking to me, you know? Um, and Japan was one of those bands. Incredibly, um, incredibly talented musicians. These guys, man, as they matured, even after their breakup, as they matured and they went off into their solo stuff with their collabs with each other, the music never, never went down. It just kept elevating and elevating and elevating. When David Sylvian left the, or should I say, he dissolved the band because he pretty much was the principal guy and went off and did his solo stuff. I mean, people were just raring to see what he was going to do on his own. First thing he dropped was an album. I think he dropped an EP before that, but anyway, he dropped an album called Brilliant Trees, which is phenomenal. And Secrets from the Beehive, which is an absolute masterpiece. Secrets from the Beehive is one of the most perfect albums I've ever heard in my life. I would put that with Avalon, Roxy Music. Secrets of the Beehive is a total masterpiece from the moment you drop the needle until the last note on the second side. It's flawless, absolutely flawless album. But anyway, he also he collabed with so many different during his solo career. And he's still around. He just doesn't do much. I mean, every once in a while he does a collab. He just did something with an artist not too long ago. But as far as solo stuff, it's been at least 10 years, I think. But anyway, he always trying to find the very, very cream of the crop in the more avant-garde side of music to bring in to work with him. And one of those guys is Holger Shukai, or Holger Shukai, however you want to pronounce it from wherever you are. But he was a part of a band called Can. And in the 60s and 70s, Can was revolutionizing music by creating these compositions that were complex and just mind-blowing. Kind of the roots of prog and various genres. There's so many different genres of music, of artists who look back at Can as an influence. So Can influenced different genres, not just a different particular genre. Anyway, Holger Shukai, David Sylvian brought Holger Shukai on board to do an album called Fight and Premonition. Now, this album actually has only 2 songs on it. So side one is called The Spiraling of Winter Ghosts. And then side 2 is Giant Empty Iron Vessel. These are very vast, and I'm talking about, these are ambient scapes that are like, they're so vast and so deep. It's like you walk into this immersive world of oral sounds and sonic textures and guitars with a groove and waves. I mean, it's just, you hear these different voices and transmissions coming and going throughout the certain compositions as the music weaves you through these different, anyway, it is not easy to find solo Sylvian out in the wild. And not only is this an exception, this is also a promotional copy of one of my favorite Sylvian albums. And I'm just incredibly excited to find it. It's just, oh my goodness. And it's interesting. Well, sometimes actually I haven't played this yet, but I am in no fear just to have it. So the fact that I found this, I'm going to have at the end of the year. I was thinking maybe I won't do necessarily a best finds. I think I'm going to do my favorite find of all of 2026. right now, so far, of all of the things, not just today, but other things that I purchased since the beginning of the year, nothing is going to top this. This, to me, this is the find of years. I've been looking for Sylvian in the wild, particularly to find this one right now. This is my find of the year. I mean, it's going to take something in the crates to beat this. I don't know what's going to. I really don't know. And it's blowing me away to find something that I think is my greatest find already this early. And then I think I showed this. I started to listen to this morning. I didn't get around to doing it, but this is Nina Freeland. I'm sorry. And if you're not familiar with her, she's jazz, contemporary kind. She sings. She has people that write for, but she sings like standards as well. In the jazz world, very well known, but in the more uh, commercial jazz world, a lot of people don't know her. She's outstanding. I'm looking forward to hearing this. This is called Home Free, and this came out in 2010. Nina Free, and then of course everybody knows this one. If you don't, shame on you. But this is one of her later releases before she died, and died too young too. I believe this was 20. I'm sorry, 2003. But at the time, this was one of her later releases because Phoebe Snow had been around since the late '60s, '70s. She was really kind of a part of the early folk scene, back in the day. So this is considered kind of late in her career. But anyway, Phoebe Snow. This is it's called Natural Wonder. Never heard this one, but I do have one other album of hers, and then I've listened and heard, maybe owned an album or other two before over the years. She's great. She's great. Such an incredibly soothing, as I said before. So yeah, that is. Oh, let's talk. I'm liking this. Let's talk a little more. Um, it's something I have here that I just kind of learned about. Because I'm starting to get back into watching not just other channels that just talk about vinyl, but I'm talking about the guys who actually like really know the inside stuff, or the historians of vinyl, the guys who will say, okay, this label going back to 1960, make sure this particular album has this particular, stuff in the dead wax, because I like to see sometimes what do I really have. And so there was a little controversy about Asia on one of the channels. Well, I've heard controversy by a couple of different people um, about like which one is the best version. But anyway, from what I'm hearing, there were two versions of Asia done, and one was double A, and then it had a number sequence, and then the other one was AB with a number sequence. Supposedly, there's a fight between the two, but supposedly the AB is supposed to be a superior pressing. Well, guess what? I looked on the binder. I've got an AB. It's gonna be hard to show it on the camera. I'm gonna see if I'll be able to show it on the because it's on the label too, if I remember correct. Um, yep, mastered by Bernie Grundman. at AMN Studio. This is the real deal, man. And I believe, yes, yes, yes. That's right. It's over here. You know, well, if I step too far beyond here, I won't be able to see whether or not I'm showing you correctly. But right there, I probably can't read, but it's an AB. It's an AB. Probably couldn't read it, but it's an AB. AB 1006. Um, it makes me want to go. Well, I play, you know something I did. I played Home at Last a couple of weeks ago on here, and yeah, I got to admit. But then again, I not to brag, but I got a sound system here to die for. So great monitors, and if it's an audio file, it sounds fantastic on my system. But you know, I had not even realized those particular differences with the Asia album. So that was really cool to find that out. Now here are the 12-inch. This is, if I remember, yeah, this is so bizarre. I found this crate digging at one point. Not, I mean, this is not recent, but you know, over time. Anyway, this is David Steele and Andy Cox, and I'll tell you where they're from in a minute. But this is called Two Men, a Drum Machine, and a Trumpet. Tired of getting pushed around is the name of the song. And then it's on the famous IRS label. If folks aren't familiar, IRS, believe it or not, uh, um, Stuart Copeland of the Police, the guy who plays drums, his brother managed the Police. I did not know that. As a matter of fact, his brother is the one who created the IRS label. Stuart Copeland's brother is a badass in the industry behind the scenes, and people don't even know it. But I never knew he managed the Police. He started IRS Records, and he has some incredible people on his label. As a matter of fact, here's a list right here of some of the people. Okay, now this album, I'm sorry, this 12-inch, 1988. Listen to who he had on his label. General Public, they were great. Members from English Beat, General Public, Stan Ridgway, Mexican Radio, Walla Voodoo, Jules Holland, REM, The Alarm, Buzzcocks, of course, Fine Young Cannibals, Lex Active. He had the Cramps on the label at one time. Timbuk3, Hunters and Collectors. Listen to this. English Beat, Walla Voodoo, The Truth, Clark Kent. Clark Kent is an alias that Stuart Copeland was before joining the Police. He released some work, and he said you can find it on the internet under Clark Kent. He had another career way before the Police. Concrete Blonde is on here. Dr. Oh, Doctor and the Medics, Torch Song, Go Go's, Eraserhead, The Cutting Edge. I remember The Cutting Edge, the JBs. What is this one? I can't make out what that says. Oh, there's Tom Verlaine. Oh, it's Shock Paris. I mean, we got some heavyweights in the lineup here. Oh, here it is. It's written bigger on the front. I didn't even notice it. Yeah, but it already came in this, man. This plastic sleeve is awesome. Uh-oh. Looks like, oh no, that's a part of the print. Okay. Very creative. Wow, that's so neat. You can see all of the embellishments. That is so cool, man. Wow, look at that. Wow. You know something? This is the first time, and I've had this thing forever. I've never played it. Well, oh, no, I take this back. I take this back. I did play. I did play it. But I don't think I ever pulled it. I don't think I ever took it out of here. I think I just slid the record out because I don't remember this. But I did. I take that back. I've never used this at a gig, but I have played it. But wow, that is so cool right there, man. Clean. All right, I can say it was played once. How about that? Okay, so you know what we're gonna do here? I could do a surface clean, but you know something? I'm not going to. This is what I am going to. Well, yeah, I am. I'm going to do a quick brush run. Let's do that. Um, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to max. I'm going to max on it. Let me go ahead and max. But so what that is a 12-inch of two of the members of the Fine Young Cannibals. After the Fine Young Cannibals broke up, Steele and Cox formed this. It's very typical late '80s kind of. What's the best word for it? Rit. Yep. I wouldn't call it hip hop, but you can tell that they were going off. Let me stop running my mouth. They were going off into a. They're trying to stay modern with the change of the time. It was definitely club based, but it was more moving into or getting toward that '90s club. It's okay. I thought it could be better, but I remember when I listened to it. So we're gonna do. Well, wait a minute. Let's do a quick micro. When I'm just doing quick surface, I start with a micro. And wow, lot. Well, I can't get close up. Lots of dust, and I don't even go. I haven't gone into this thing in a while. And I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not dust, but it's dust. There's enough here that is accumulated. I usually like to do a quick micro. Sometimes I'll run two because if it's that much on one run, then I might as well do it a second time, even before I do the wet. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, and it even picked up just a little white shaving came off on it. All right, so I've already sprayed this. I'm using V96, so I'm using. But yeah, it's still wet, still damp. Drag this around. At least try and get one full rotation as I'm turning the brush up. I'm turning the brush up, and then I bring it out. And surprisingly enough, a lot of times I'll see like a smudgy line of dirt. Here, very little. That I'm surprised at how much that first micro got off. That's pretty good. That looked pretty good. Let's. I usually try and do it one more time, and I don't put any more spray on it. It's still down. I just run swiftly over it with the other micro brush just to get off anything that got picked up. But I usually like to run this twice, and then I got one other thing that I do, and then we want to curve that brush and lift it out. There we go. And then we turn it on. Now, I'll tell you what I really love using, and I've been using these ever since I was collecting 6-scale premium figures, because the best way to dust off these 6-scale figures like these, go ask your wife, your girlfriend, your sister, your niece for a cosmetic brush. This is what these bristles are so soft. And so what I like to do after I've done that second wet, we buff. And what I do is I take the brush itself and I do like this. That way each bristle can sink down into it. So we start. See, because you want to give that liquid enough time, or that moisture enough time to dry as well. And then as I come toward the end, so basically what you're doing here is what I say, is I'm buffing. It's basically you're buffing the record. And then sometimes I just, and these bristles are so soft, you can just kind of roll it, you put a little bit of a roll on it, like this. See how these bristles are so soft. If a woman put this on her skin, come on, right? You can't get more sensitive. This brush right here is even softer than this one. I mean, by, I don't know, at least, yeah. Well, they're close, but this, I think this is still big. So yeah. All right. So, and then once we have that, so what I want to do with this is so friggin' cool, man. I think I'm going to keep this out and maybe try and hang it. I'm gonna see what I can do about hanging that. I really like that. And then so I'm currently using Hudson Hi-Fi. There's so many different places. I know people talk about, what's the name of that place in Canada? A lot of people talk about that. I don't know. I was on Amazon, and I met most of the specs. Annie's dad, whatever all this stuff. But anyway, so these are the Hudson Hi-Fi. These are the ones I get for the albums themselves. All right, so we got a Hudson Hi-Fi. Okay, that's your usual. Of course. I got to go back through the rest of them and put side one facing me. I know it may sound anal. Maybe I won't even get around to doing it. I'm trying to, some people, if the shrink wrap hasn't been destroyed, you'll leave it. And surprisingly enough, this album, the shrink wrap, there's not a tear of it in the seam. It kind of held off. But you know something? Since I have these jackets, there's no reason to keep it. There's no reason. Coming off for the first time in how many years? Who knows? There we go. All right. And Hudson Hi-Fi. Oh, right here. I'm reaching in the wrong place right now. Come on out. All right. Now, I'm not necessarily a big proponent of record store day as far as I'm concerned. Anytime things get a little bit corporate, they get a little out of hand. Because sometimes certain records could be just a little bit overpriced, but believe me, as far as I'm concerned, every day is record store day. But I'm definitely going to participate in it because they're releases. And there are so many things I want to get. It's crazy. I have to really hold and tone down. There are so many record store day releases. Oh, man. I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble. Always looks better, though, right? It really does make your collection look better. This one you're gonna love. Anybody out there who's into the old school hip hop, we're talking about the early days of hip hop. I've got an album right here that is a classic that any DJ should be envious to have. New York City Breakers. This album, 1984. This is the roots of rap. This is the beginning. It was done by a company called K-Tel, and the beautiful thing, K-Tel was this company that used to manufacture all kinds. It manufactured toys. They manufactured small kitchen appliances, if I remember correctly. K-Tel did more than just like albums and stuff. But anyway, they were always pumping out albums all the time. But they were kind of considered a discount brand. And so it's just fascinating to know that New York City Breakers came out on K-Tel. But listen to some of the that around you. This is why this is such a masterpiece. White Lines, Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, the New York City Breaker fans, play at your own. Remember, play at your own risk. Planet Patrol, Electric Boogie. Oh, a breakdance exclusive. This is just Run DMC, Sucker MCs. Dark Side, Zero Hour, Freakazoid, Midnight Star. This is just, I already said White Lines, Grandmaster Flash. Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on. Oh, and what, look at this label. What a killer label. KTEL. Are you kidding me? Wow, it says KTEL at the top. Then it says Breakmaster featuring the New York City Breakers. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, I would imagine this is an extremely sought after album. So let's go ahead. We're gonna do this at once over as well. You know something? Should I dare it? Hold on. I got an idea. Hold on. I'm gonna dare it. All right. Should I? Let me drop the needle, cause you know. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's why it's good to have these. Oh, wait a minute. Let me turn that back down. I turned that up just because I wanted the music. Sorry about that. Okay. I hope I'm back where I was. All right. Yeah. These lights on here are really help. There's this. Oh yeah. Whoa. My needle would get pretty wrecked up. There's something on the beginning, although it didn't make it skip. But I was able to hear something. But yeah, there is some debris. I'm not exactly sure what that is. But I have plenty fiber cloths here. I don't want this arm to pop off. Oops. Yeah, I mean, oh, okay. Well, it looks like it's a smudge and it was more than just dust, but it looks like it came off relatively. There's still something still kind of there. So we're going to go ahead. I'm not going to do a deep. I'm not going to do a deep. We're just going to go ahead and do a surface and see how it sounds. I didn't want to run my needle over that anymore because, and then I do all. This is what you should also keep if you can. This is what you use to clean the head of your needles. It has a brush or a pad, should I say, right here, and you just run it along the bottom of your, right there with your needle. You can hear it, right? See, hear it, and it doesn't damage your needle, but you get the anything that it's picked up off of there. Okay, so let's try this. Let's see what happens. We're going to run a test here. And yes, I'm chancing it. Wait a minute, what did I do with? Okay, here we go. All right, so you're going to. I'm not even going to micro brush. Well, maybe I should. I'm still going to micro brush. Let me do that first because I want to make sure still any dust on it too. But boy, oh boy, that was a nasty smudge in the very beginning. I'm glad I saw that. Oh wow, yeah. Wow, this thing's filthy. Oh no, it's not. I was brushing over. It was just lit off one side. I don't think that's too bad. Nah, it looks pretty good. But see, I got so many 12 inches. I don't play them often. Or at least I can't play every one of them all the time. So I'm usually coming back later and having to clean them. All right, so let's go ahead and run this around here. Oh, wait a minute. Let's cut that off. Okay, here we go. And then I'm gonna drop the needle. Listen, I'm not. Oh, I still see that smudge. Okay, I know what to do. Hold on a second. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Oh, is that? Yeah. We'll run this again. I could. Yeah. It had been sitting there so long that I think, yeah, it settled whatever it was. It didn't appear to be more like a kind of oily. I doubt if anybody's fingers would have that much oil on it. Yeah. How long have I been on? I'm only going to be on an hour because I'm on the free plan and they give you limited stuff. But I just wanted to step on here, keep this algorithm going, and try it every once in a while. Get on and chill out and talk about music. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do this micro one more time, and then we're going to go ahead and listen. All right, and I'm sorry. We got a buff. We do have to buff. Yeah, like I said, do yourself a favor. Well, you can go into any beauty supply store, get yourself, a bunch of them, cosmetic brushes. They're cheap. I don't know. I paid a couple of bucks for that thing. Come on, you can buy a bunch of them. All right, let's hear what it sounds like. I'm gonna turn this up from here because I want the. Then I'm gonna turn it back down. I want to blow your ears out. If you're still here, Simon, how did that sound? Well, I'll tell you this, at least on my end, I'm not sure how it routed through YouTube. Oh, that's right. I don't have it on. I don't have it on studio audio. I mean, so it may not have came across. But I'll tell you here though, on my end, quiet. Like that very beginning where it goes into it. If you could hear it, yeah. So whatever, I got that smudge off of it. So it wasn't anything that penetrated very deeply into it. So I can go ahead and, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to turn this down. So I can go ahead and do the second side and sleeve it up. Oh my goodness, I've been on almost an hour and a half. I didn't realize it. Well, listen, I appreciate Appreciate you stopping in, Simon. Anybody that catches me on the on a replay, hey, every once in a while I'll pop in, just hang out here, and anybody wants to show up, we'll show up, and we'll talk music. So good to see everybody again. Wait, no, we got here. Oh, I thought I saw something. Yeah, good to see everybody again. Like I said, just hanging every once in a while. Take care, and I'll see you next time.